Hey guys, today I want to talk about super compressed save data, what it is, how it looks like, how to get it. Let me first explain what it actually is. Super compressed save data is by far one of the best save datas in the entire game, and every single player at some point in time needs to get access to such a save data. Now, what does a super compressed save data look like and why it is so incredibly important to get? This is how it looks like. Very simple and straightforward. The point of such a save data is to remove as much bloat from your deck as possible, and a super compressed save data accomplish exactly that job. I already explained in the deepest detail possible in one of my previous videos why it is so incredibly important to remove all the possible bloat from your deck. So I will cut it short here and give you the most dumbed down and basic explanation one more time. It is so that you are more likely to draw into your cards that are your win condition. You want your deck size to be as small as possible to accomplish that goal. Now keep in mind that your save data doesn't have to look exactly like this one. There are characters that profit from this more than others though. For example, Mika is a good example for a super compressed save data. Nia would be a very good example as well, or even characters like Veronica that would accomplish the job of only drawing cards for your team, right, cycling through your deck as much as possible, while just having like 2 or 3 cards in her kit. She is a very good example for this because she does passive work anyways due to her having access to her ballista. Then supports like Mika or Nia are very good examples for this because Mika heals you and applies AP to your team with just 1 card. You would hit 2 very important birds with just 1 stone. And the same goes for Nia, right? She can just have 2 or 3 cards in her kit that draw you additional cards. Not only do you remove as much bloat as possible from your deck, but you accelerate the cycle through your deck even further than just having a little amount of cards in your kit. I covered what those save datas would look like already in my video where I go over the perfect save data for every single character, and if you listen to what I'm actually saying, then you will get the point there as well. I already mentioned that this is a very high-end save data and one of the best save datas you need to have at some point in time. It's just that good. Now, how to accomplish yourself such a save data is very difficult. You need to have cleared all the content in this game already, and only then will you have access to such a save data. So let's walk through how to actually be able to build a save data like that, at least in such a perfection, right? Okay, the very first thing that you have to know is that you have to have all your Chaos Orb upgrades here in the Zero system complete. The whole thing, right? I didn't even do that yet, so at the point where you will see this video, I will be live streaming this game on twitch.tv. Link to my Twitch channel in the description down below. Feel free to come and say hi and hang out a little bit even. Alright, so max this Zero system Chaos Orb upgrading thing fully out. Otherwise, you will lack very important nodes and upgrades there. The second thing that you have to know is that you go to the seasonal planet right here, and you do not grind this on the highest difficulty. You go to difficulty number 8, and here you will re-observe the planet via spending these white orbs until you had a planet with at least tier 14. Then you enter the planet on tier 14 and you activate the nightmare mode to upgrade it to tier 15. Keep in mind here that you will have to have a very huge amount of these white orbs, these pure white fragments here, because you will have to reset this planet over 100 times at least to be able to find one on tier 14. And then you go in and play the map like you would play a chaos manifestation. If you jump into a map, then you will have a map with a lot of different paths and tiles. Keep in mind that whenever you would encounter a question mark tile, back to back 2 question mark tiles in a row, you are very, very likely to find the dimensional tunnel. You always want to go for those tiles to enter the dimensional tunnel. Okay, then you will have to reset your run time and time again, until you either find this screen right here, where you can select and remove a card right out of the gate. That is very, very important. There is an even better note here that appears sometimes, which lets you convert a card of your choice. That is even better, because this is 10 points cheaper when it comes to your Savedata value than a direct removal would be. Let me explain you how this conversion thing actually works. While you are on your run, you will also encounter these question mark tiles with these events that here, as you can see on your screen, lets you convert a selected card into mutant sample. Okay, the mutant sample is this one right here, but it doesn't matter what it actually is. What matters is that converted cards will leave your Savedata 100% guaranteed at the end of the run. So this would be a pretty much free removal from your Savedata on top of the already direct removal that you will gain access to here and there. So this is a very, very important note, because otherwise you will not be able to remove enough cards from your Savedata to establish the perfect one. Additionally, you are already aware that whenever you encounter the Delang shop, or however it's pronounced, you will have here in this window where it tells you sold out, you will have the option to pay a certain amount of credits and you can remove a card. You will always go for as many of those shops as you possibly can, and you will always select the card removal option right here. What you have to be very, very aware of is that sometimes you will get this sparkly here on your cards. It is called like a memory or something like that, right? You get the point. And this sparkle can lead to you adding a card into your Savedata back again that you have already removed beforehand, right? That's why it's called an idea or having a memory, right? You remember a card that you once had, so to speak. And you either want to avoid using these cards with these sparklies on them altogether, or if you use one and you get a memory, let's say a whirlpool would be added back into your Savedata, then you can use the Protoss skill, is what I think what it's called. When you click on the hourglass at the right hand side of your screen, you have a choice between these two different skills, and you choose the one that would remove the memory out of your deck. You can rewind time and be able to not choose the card with the sparkly on it one more time to not receive the memory, right? In order for this to work, you have to have unlocked the Protoss skill in the first place, and that will only be possible if you are far enough in Arc City in the research facility. Alright, now you know like the requirements, the process of resetting, what you need to aim for when it comes to tiles, and what you should avoid doing, what you need, right? Okay. Why even establish a safe data like this? What's the point? First of all, as I already explained, this is one of the best safe datas in the entire game, and everyone should at some point in time have at least one of those safe datas at their disposal. Very, very important if you want to be like a top tier player, so to speak, right? Okay, there's one place where this comes in especially clutch though, and that is the nebula distortion, because this boss here has, if you want to clear it on the highest difficulty, right, has two nodes here that can be detrimental if you do not have such a safe data, and that is here that it decreases the turn draw by 1, and at the start of the turn he creates a contamination card, a poison card, to the draw pile. This is a battle here that will go on for a while, for quite a few turns, and these contamination cards, they will get out of control, right? You will have 2, 3 contamination cards in your hand at some point, and taking into account that you also draw a card less to begin with, you will not have a lot of options to actually deal damage to the boss, which you need. And by not having a super compressed safe data at your disposal, you will face the issue of having to waste a turn, at least here and there. You will waste multiple turns without dealing damage to the boss. And this can, and in most cases even, will lead to you not being able to defeat this boss on the very highest difficulty, because your hand is bloated. The cards that you have available will not deal damage. With a super compressed safe data, you increase the chance of you having cards in your hand that can deal damage to the boss by a significant amount. Not only is this safe data very, very beneficial here, but here it comes in especially clutch, right? But no matter if you want to face this nebula distortion boss or not, you will need a super compressed safe data at your disposal at some point in time. So that is something that you now know you will have to work towards, whenever you are ready. And that's it for the video, guys. As I said, I will be live streaming this on Twitch to max out my Chaos Orb Zero System upgrading thing there. Maybe even go for a few seasonal planet runs, etc, etc. So feel free to come in and say hi. Link to the description down below. There is also a link to my Discord server in the description down below in case you want to talk to me directly about whatever you want, right? You can also join the Discord server there in the description down below. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, peace and love.